Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me for another real-time edit. Today I have this lovely juvenile Seaside Sparrow in like almost the perfect morning golden hour light. I don't know, it's probably like 10, 15 minutes after sunrise, something like that. Just this beautiful light kicking in. And one of my favorite places to photograph them, you can see like the background is literally miles away. So you get this just kind of buttery smooth background and just a really pretty kind of marsh grass habitat. So let's start how I always start with the crop. I don't like all that junk on the left. Plus, I really like a heavy offset. And I think something like that will be good. And I don't want to clip that top piece of grass, but maybe leave a little bit more room at the bottom. Yeah, maybe somewhere in there looks good. And I think it's just a little weak in contrast. So sorry about that. Let's actually increase the exposure just a little bit. I'm actually going to bump the lights up there. That's it. Give it that little pop of contrast. Kick the shadows up to get more detail in the bird and the grasses. And maybe I went a little too far with the blacks there. I think something like that looks really good. I like the warm tone to the bird and the grass and everything. I mean, this is probably more kind of something like that. If I went cooler with the white balance, that's a little bit more neutral, but it really was a kind of golden morning sun, and I'm just going to leave it on that side. The problem with that is the blue sky gets just a little bit um, lacking in blue. So I'm just going to grab the gradient, drop that up there, and then cool that white balance off and get that blue sky back. And then maybe I'll just do a tiny rotate just to make sure the horizon isn't too wacky. Pretty good there, so let's go into Photoshop. All right, here in Photoshop, going to start with just a new blank layer and clean up some stuff I'm not a fan of. So I'm just going to use the healing brush here, get rid of these little grasses coming in off the bottom from my weird crop. I like that soft one, but not this really bright one, so I'll get rid of that and that dark one. Dust spot. Must be a huge dust spot since it's showing up at f4. That means I really got to clean my sensor. And then sometimes I have to go back with the clone tool to kind of smooth out some of the weird crap that that healing brush left behind. And let's see, what else don't I like? I'm just going to kind of soften out that light spot back there in the grasses. And I basically just kind of go through and clean up however I kind of want. It didn't do a good job across that. Let's see if that's, there we go, that's a little bit better. So I think the first pass there I had just a little bit too large of a brush. And we'll clean that up. And this is all far enough away from the bird, it's not bothering me. This one I definitely don't like though. This one kind of long, light piece there. And its shadow we'll get rid of. There we go. I think the rest of this is looking pretty good. I like some of the soft out of focus grasses back there. I just didn't like them, all those ones that were going all crazy. So now I want to just actually make the bird stand out a little bit more and make everything in the background just a little bit richer. So just going to darken the whole thing and then bring the bird back really quick. And I'm just going to do a real fast kind of rough outline on this. It's not a huge change, so I don't have to be incredibly precise. And thankfully the bird, like the edge of the bird is really sharp and not fluffy or fuzzy or anything. I don't have to worry about kind of going through really specific feathers and masking that out or anything. So just a real simple basic outline here. And of course, every once in a while I screw that up anyway, so I'm always kind of fixing these things. Almost done, so hang in there with me. There we go, the outlines are done. Let's fill them with black. And that should make the bird stand out. Yeah, that definitely makes the bird stand out more. Very cool. Not sure what this layer is. I must have accidentally made that, so let's toss it. I would usually kind of punch the catch light up here, but I don't know that there's much to really do. It's just kind of a point catch light, so yeah, maybe show a little bit of the horizon in the eye there. And then the last thing I'm going to do is actually just kind of really richen up that blue. sky back there just to give some really good contrast to the from the sky to the grass. So pretty straightforward edit on this. I'm going to just select the sky out using color range here. That looks pretty good to me. Hide that. Get a big old brush here, and then let me just paint that blue in. There we go. That should work. Let me make sure it's not just some areas I missed there. There we go. Deselect, and then I'll just paint it out along the horizon here so it's not quite as rich down there. And then if you'll note, there's definitely a natural vignette going on here from the f4 lens, so I'm just going to darken the middle of the sky a little bit, make sure I put that layer underneath of the additional blue tone, so that way it kind of gets the effect of the color a little bit better. Something that I noticed a long time ago is the stacking order of your adjustment layers can actually affect the color as well. So I always put contrast and density adjustments underneath major color adjustments, just because it kind of cleans things up. So I think that's about it there, Rick. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So before, after, let me save that, and then let's get back into Lightroom and just compare the complete original. All right, back in Lightroom here, let me grab the original, reset that real quick, and then we'll just compare the two. All right, there we go. So we have original on the right, finished image on the left. Not crazy huge difference, but from that to that, there we go. Definitely improved. Didn't have to do a ton of work, really fast edit. I think we're under 5 minutes here, or close to it, something like that. And there you go. Thanks for joining. I hope to have some more of these on a little bit more of a regular basis in the near future. And if you have any comments, feedback, let me know. Love to hear it.